Hey guys, so here are the things that I wish that I knew when I entered the crypto markets, because I have made so many mistakes when I entered the crypto markets, but I also made some really good decisions, and those decisions led me to a life that is extremely fulfilled. I'm living my dream life in Bali right now. I left the UK last year, been in the markets for about 5-6 years now, and have created myself an extremely profitable crypto portfolio and investor. But there are a few things that I did that I wish that I didn't do, and I want to make sure that you guys do not make the same mistakes. And it's also things that not a lot of people talk about. There are a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers out there that talk about, oh, you should buy this coin, and this is going to pop next. This is going to give you a 10x. Like, here's how to be a millionaire. Blah blah blah. And one of the major things that actually genuinely makes you successful in this market is nothing to do with what altcoins you pick necessarily, but actually about how you take the altcoins that you have picked and you're able to actually take profits on them and be emotionally stable during the most volatile market on the planet. This is what people forget. Cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. I mean, I love it. It's great. It's changed my life. But it can be an emotional roller coaster, especially if you are doing a lot more high risk stuff, which is not what I recommend. But if you are doing meme coin plays, if you're looking at pre-sales, if you're doing TGEs, then you got to strategize that. You got to understand that a lot of that stuff goes to zero and you could lose your money. And if you do lose your money, it's how you emotionally handle that and how you prepare yourself for losing thousands of dollars. Because I've been there, guys. Trust me, I've been there, where I've been looking at my portfolio one day, multi 6 figures, coming up to 7, and then seeing it crash down and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, overnight. And having to deal with that as a 19-20-year-old is, extremely difficult. But I have also learned how to mitigate risk, how to take profits, and how to, basically generate a multi 6-figure, 7-figure portfolio in the crypto markets on the flip side. So yeah, here are a couple of things that I think are really useful and what I have learned over the last 5 years in this market, and what I have done to protect my mindset and to help me take profits and to help basically be successful in this market. So one of the first things that you will encounter in the crypto markets is not everyone can catch the right time to buy the assets. So for example, if you were buying assets back in January, February, March of 2024, there is a highly likelihood that your altcoin portfolio, especially if you were buying higher risk stuff, that your altcoin portfolio is looking at 60-70% down. Not everyone can handle that. Not everyone can handle a 60 to 70% dip in their portfolio, and you have to be emotionally prepared for something like that because it is common. You've got to understand that there are pullbacks in this market. You're looking at the average pullback for Bitcoin is 25 to 30%. The average pullback for Ethereum is 30 to 40%. And as you go lower down in the market caps, the pullbacks become much larger. We're talking 50, 60, 70% pullbacks. Now, one of the things to kind of take into account is that even though your altcoins might be down 50, 60, 70%, it's all unrealized, okay? And what really helps me is it's almost like a game to me at this point. It really is, because I've been doing it for so long, that it's unrealized. It doesn't exist. The numbers do not exist, which is really difficult for people to conceptualize, especially when it's your own money. But when you realize that the 70% down doesn't exist, then you can kind of emotionally detach from that situation and wait and be patient until your altcoins start to rise. Because we're at the beginning of the bull market here, guys. We're right at the beginning. So even though your assets are down 60% maybe, there will be a time in which Bitcoin starts to hit new all-time highs, and the whole market cap of the cryptocurrency market will go up, and then your altcoins will then recover, they'll break even, and then they'll start going back up again, okay? What I see many people do is they catch it falling, and their altcoins go down 50%, and they panic, and then they panic sell. And then they wait until it goes back up to the green, then they buy again, and they bought it just as things start going up again, and then it goes down. And then you do the same thing, and you basically just end up wiping out all of your liquidity because you're basically buying in the green and selling in the red. It just doesn't make any sense. It should be the other way around. You should be buying in the red, selling in the green. So that's one of the biggest things for me. Patience as well. Patience is massive. There's this really good book. I think it's Warren Buffett's favorite book. It's called The Intelligent Investor. And there's a chapter. Honestly, it's a stock market book, but it's relevant for crypto. You should just read that chapter. It's called Mr. Market. And it's basically, if you imagine like a salesman that comes knocking on your door and is like, oh, I want to buy your crypto back from you at a loss, you're going to be like, why would I do that? I'm not going to sell it back to you at a loss. That doesn't make any sense. But then the next day he'll come back and be like, oh, I'm going to buy the crypto off you in profit. And then you're more likely to sell it to them, okay? But what they're trying to say is that Mr. Market's gonna come back to you regardless, every single day. Every time you check your phone, every time you check your charts, that's Mr. Market in your ear trying to buy your crypto back from you, either at a loss or either at profit. And you just have to wait for Mr. Market to basically overvalue your cryptocurrency, because at the moment they're undervaluing it because the markets are down. He keeps coming back to you hour after hour, day after day, undervaluing the crypto that you have bought. But there will be a shift, there'll be a trend shift. And then suddenly you'll wake up one day and Mr. Market will be banging at your door and saying, hey, I wanna buy your stock at an overvaluation. And that is when you should start selling back to Mr. Market. When your cryptocurrency is overvalued, when you're in profit, when you're in the green, that's when you should be starting to sell your assets. So it's changing the way that you view the market, changing the way that you view your money is extremely important. I'm very emotionally detached from the numbers on the screen because they're just numbers. It means nothing. Until you have sold that asset and that fiat is back in your bank account, it means nothing. And you have the flexibility and the ability to basically mold your mind into being patient and being unemotional and waiting until you can sell that asset at a profit. Now, the second thing is goal setting, okay? Now, I have a different perspective on goal setting because society tells you that you should always set targets, set goals, things like that. I have a little bit of a different perspective on how I view goal setting. And that's because a lot of the price targets that a lot of the influencers or what a lot of people kind of get into their heads tend to be a little bit overvalued on what the market actually is going to do. And also when you price target, here's like a scenario, for example. There's a lot of people that are like in their head, they're like, I want to come out with $500,000, which means ETH needs to go to this price, Bitcoin needs to go to this price, and Polygon and all of my other assets need to go to this price, right? Here's the problem. The market doesn't care what your price targets are. The market does not care that you want to sell Bitcoin at 200K. Is Bitcoin going to get to 200K? Maybe. But the reality is you don't know. So when I say goal setting, I mean setting a plan in place to actually secure profits regardless of the money or the dollar value that you want to get out the markets, because it's never going to happen. You're never going to come out with that round number. You're never going to come out with, what you want, because of many different things that happens in the market. Some altcoins that you had price targets for may not even reach that. There also might be scenarios where you make mistakes during your exit strategy and you end up pulling out a lot less than you were supposed to do. Things happen in this market. The market moves quick, okay? So you're never going to come out with exactly what you are looking to come out with. So you have to mentally prepare yourself for that. And also be conservative with your expectations. Whatever you have set your price targets to, I'd probably bump that down about 20-30%. Because usually, I remember last cycle, everyone was calling for 100K Bitcoin. It's just never even reached that. Again, like Ethereum, everyone was just bang on, like it was 8K ETH, 8K ETH, over and over and over and over. Didn't even reach half of that. It reached 4K, you know? So we've got to have realistic expectations here, and we've got to set targets that are realistic, but also setting targets to help you understand where we are in the cycle. That's why Fibonacci exits are really, really good to look at. And I will do another video in depth on Fibonacci exits. So if you're not following the channel, make sure you do subscribe. You're going to want to watch that. But the other thing to do is time exits and to take profits regardless of the price of Bitcoin. So that's what I'm doing. I never take profits on round numbers. Never, ever, 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 ever. Prime example, the top of the bull market for Bitcoin was 69K. Everyone who set their limit orders at 70K got wiped out because it never reached to that point. But if you set your limit order to 68,472, which is the most random number ever, it would have got filled. So one of the big things is when you're setting targets to exit, don't do it on round numbers. And also I would do time exit strategies, not price target strategies, okay? And that's a better way of goal setting for me and setting targets than the way that most people do it. It's very different, I know. Is it the best way of doing it? No. Are you going to get the most amount that you possibly could out of the market doing it this way? No. But are you going to make sure that you potentially will secure profit? Yes. That's the main thing. That's what's important, okay? That is genuinely what's important. It doesn't matter about when you got in. It's about when you got out, and it's securing that fiat. We want to make, you know, life-changing wealth here. So if you want to make life-changing wealth, if you want to live the life that I'm living right now, that's the way you got to do it. That's the way you got to do it. That's the mindset you got to have. So I hope that these tips actually helped. That's the way that I think about the markets. Not everyone thinks this way, and that's probably why I'm successful in the crypto markets in comparison to 99% of people that get in. So I hope you guys appreciated this video, and if you resonate with this, if you really like consuming my content, then obviously make sure that you do subscribe in the channel, because I'm going to be posting a lot more videos like this. Also, if you are looking for a little bit more support, a little bit more on that one-on-one, make sure to check out the first line of the description. I have the Inner Circle, which is my private group, where I coach and mentor people, in a group setting, but also on a one-on-one basis. And yeah, it's super awesome. I love teaching and working with my clients and students at the moment. So if that is something that you're interested in, and you want to get a deeper perspective on how I view the markets and how I can help you become more successful in this market, then yeah, make sure you check it out and book a call with my team. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.